sky is not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
A young woman contemplating having an abortion is told by society that whether she has her baby or not, it is her choice. The House of One in Faith in Ocala wants to give that young woman a place to live in comfort during her trying time, to help her know that God's love is abundant and that He is not ashamed of her in any way. The House of One in Faith is free and confidential. For more information, call 352-687-8895.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock, 66 degrees. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Today is the 65th anniversary of Elizabeth II being Queen Elizabeth II, and they are having a celebration over in Great Britain called the Blue Sapphire Jubilee. It says here she will not be celebrating, but instead be sitting in quiet contemplation, remembering her father's death. Because it was the death of her father, of course, that made her the queen. Had he, well, whenever he would have died, she would become. The whole royal thing works, right, Robin?
That's right. The firstborn, whether you're a man or a woman, or a boy or girl.
I think you follow it way more closely and with more interest than I do. I don't quite get the whole thing, and maybe because I'm an American, but you're an American, so you get it. But
I just like love stories. That's all there is to it. I just think
you like love stories, and that's an interesting thing to say. So now let's talk about that for a second. So did she have a love story? Did Queen Elizabeth have a love story?
Yeah, she married Prince Philip, and she and him were like on vacation and stuff when it happened, and then she said I had to come back, and I just think it's just a fascinating thing
so
that
you know about
they
that.
stayed married all these years. You know?
So she was dating. Do you say dating when you were in the royal family?
Yeah, I think they were married, and I think they might have been on their honeymoon. I'm not exactly sure
when her
the
father
dad died. Yeah.
Okay, so he was king.
He was king then.
George the Sixth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like she was off, and who expected him to die so young? I mean, he was just. Everybody said he was fine, so I guess he wasn't.
So all of a sudden, she's a queen.
Yeah, she had to come back real quick.
So what is this? Do you know what it means? I mean, what does it mean to be the queen? I mean, there is no political power, right? Or is there? Is it
that? She rules over the House of Commons, right? So I mean, she's always in there all the time. But I think they're more of a stabilized figure. Because they're the monarchy, they're the elite of the elite, and
all right. So I went to
that's my take
the
on
Telegraph, which is a British newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
and we use stories from there quite a bit.
Yes,
actually,
we do that in the Guardian.
We use the Guardian as well. So from the Telegraph, it says the Queen will notch up yet another remarkable milestone in her record-breaking reign. But for her, it will be a day of contemplation rather than celebration. The Queen becomes the first British monarch today to reach the Blue Sapphire Jubilee, which means 65 years to the day since she ascended to the throne, or ascended the throne. Majesty, the more important anniversary is that of her father's death at the age of 56. So he was just 56 when he died.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So her father's been gone for 65 years. Mm-hmm. In 2015, she said her record as Britain's longest reigning monarch was not one to which I have ever aspired. And royal sources say she will spend the day in quiet reflection at Sandringham, if I'm saying that right. Mm-hmm. For a public celebration of the latest Jubilee, despite its uniqueness. But I think the country itself is celebrating, right?
I think so too. Yeah, because that's wow. They love royal family, the majority of them, and they love their queen. And this is because she unites all people over there.
So the diamond 5 years ago, when she became the second monarch in history to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee. 2015, she surpassed Queen Victoria, being the longest reigning queen ever, the longest reigning monarch, period. Although she is the first British monarch to reach 65 years on the throne, the feat is not unique elsewhere. Louis XIV of France reigned for 72 years. King Bhumibol of Thailand, died last year after being the king for 70 years.
Oh, gosh.
So I think our founders really had the right idea. Don't let anybody reign for that long.
Exactly. No, they're very smart.
Good morning. You're on the air. It's too long.
Yes, the monarch in Britain has some functions within the government, but not on the level of the President of the United States, where the President of the United States is both the head of state and the chief executive. The monarch is the head of state, and when Parliament comes up for re-election every whatever the heck it is, I guess it's 5 years in Britain, the monarch dissolves Parliament. That's part of the monarch's duty, and then the election happens and the new Parliament comes in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
And then there's other, there are other duties within the government, but largely the monarch is a figurehead.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So
Ceremonial,
So
probably.
what is the story? I mean, Prince, what's his name?
Charles.
Her son. So he won't be the king?
Prince Philip was in the Greek line of succession. He is nothing within the British line of succession.
No, I mean Charles.
But Charles, the son.
He is. His title is the Prince Consort. Her son Charles is the next in line, and then it goes to Charles's children and
William.
and then
William's
yeah.
next after him.
Oh, really? Okay. So Kate is possibly the next queen?
Queen, yeah.
Oh, wow.
After Charles, if she doesn't skip over Charles.
And she can do that?
I think there's been talk about that.
I'm sure,
That she
the
could do
Queen could theoretically insist that Charles abdicate, but that would be speculation, not based in any fact.
Huh. All right, thank you, Jim. Appreciate the insight.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you. Let's see. Writing about her husband's death, Queen Elizabeth later said in
Her
a...
dad's death.
Okay, what am I missing here?
Oh, Queen Elizabeth I.
Okay.
This is Queen Elizabeth II for her Sapphire Jubilee. So when you said writing about her husband's death, does that mean Queen Elizabeth
Well,
I?
I was writing
Okay.
about her husband's death. Queen Elizabeth later said in a letter to his mother, Queen Mary...
Oh, okay, there you go.
I flew to his room and thought he was in a deep sleep. He looked so peaceful. Then I realized what happened. He died in the room, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She also wrote of her fears for the new queen, who was then just 25 years old, saying, I cannot bear to think of Lilibet, so young to bear such a burden. I guess that's what they called Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She will go to church the day before her father and will be in her thoughts then, it says here, talking about Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, so when I say Queen Elizabeth, it's her mom,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
She also wrote of her fears, the Queen will not expect to receive any gifts for her. Oh, this is now. The Queen will not expect to receive any gifts to mark her latest Jubilee, but she does already possess a suite of blue sapphire jewelry. I wonder if she has a solar queen waving.
Oh, yeah, surfing the Queen's
What
Way.
if
yeah.
what if she has one of them?
She's got one of them.
Thank you, Pete, by the way.
Yes.
When she married the Duke of Edinburgh in 1947, the Queen was given a necklace and earrings of blue sapphires surrounded by diamonds known as the George VI Victoria.
Oh.
Oh, my gosh. They just got more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
She loved it so much that in 1963, she commissioned a tiara and bracelet to match, which Her Majesty most recently wore to the glittering diplomatic reception at Buckingham Palace in December.
Oh, my gosh.
In the days following the anniversary of her accession, the Queen will return to London at the end of her winter break in Norfolk. I guess that would not be Virginia, right?
Right. No, this is fascinating stuff. I
Do you remember when they went to? Oh my gosh, they went to New York, and oh my gosh, I can't remember this now. But they gave Charles some kind of a break from the taxes that were owed or something like that. Oh gosh, it was a
Yeah.
thing we had back in
Yeah, that's right.
The end of last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
In November, the Queen and Prince Philip have another anniversary to look forward to when they celebrate their platinum wedding anniversary after 70 years of marriage.
Wow. Good for
so
them.
they were married just about 5 years, 4 years.
Before he died, then?
Yeah,
okay.
4 years and a few months.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gosh, isn't that something?
And so, so now part of my, I don't want to say knowledge, but part of what's in my brain is from tabloids at the checkout stand at Publix, right? Because I seem to remember seeing something on one of those tabloids that said, and I don't know whether to believe that stuff or not, but it said that Charles was going to be passed over. She was not going to allow him to be the king.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So is that true, or is that just one of those
I don't know.
tabloid things?
That's a good thing, because, I mean, it was even like in the other magazines, like People and stuff. So we don't really know what's going to happen.
Any who I've ever met who is from England is almost offended by my toward it all. They don't like the fact that I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever known anybody? So I respect the fact that you care. It's hard for us as Americans.
Well, yeah, because
really
we
care.
were under their thumb, and then the founding fathers, we had the war and everything, and I like our country.
Yeah, but that doesn't apply to me. I mean, in my lifetime, I think all it really amounts to is that we're not brought up that way.
Yeah.
In Canada, I think they are, though. I think in Canada they're brought up to revere the royal family, right?
Yeah, I think so. Australia too, right? Because that's their.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yep. Sure.
All right. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Areas of low clouds and fog, followed by some sunshine on this Monday. The high 76 to 80. And Monday night will be partly cloudy, low 54 and then 60 along the coast. For Tuesday, a mix of sun and clouds, warm and more humid with an afternoon shower around, high 78 to 82. For Wednesday, clouds and sun and very warm and humid, high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You're going to love your new windows and the immediate energy savings when you work with Renewal by Anderson. You'll experience legendary quality and installation. Visit renewalbyanderson.com for a free in-home consultation with the pros. Right now, save 20% on windows, doors, and installation. No money down, 0% interest, and 0 for 12 months with approved credit. Visit renewalbyanderson.com. Renewalbyanderson.com. Offer ends February 28th. License CGC 1524135.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com.
Bernie's Day of Fire.
The flyer says Bernie's Day of Fire Car Show and Dino Day, Saturday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
All proceeds will be donated to Habitat for Humanity.
Food trucks, trophies, door prizes, 50-50, pony rides.
I know. And look, Cow Chip Bingo.
Your favorite.
The address is 1 Aspen Road, Ocala.
And the website is Bernies.com, BURNYZZ.com.
Robin, you try the Echo machine.
Bernie's Day of Fire.
It has been said that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, same goes for the fair sex too. This year, let Cupid, aka Honey Baked Ham, help you and your sweetie celebrate. Make it easy and convenient. Choose ham, turkey, roast beef, salad, bread, desserts. Speaking of desserts, be sure to check out the cheesecake sampler. Everything is just perfect. So stop by Honey Baked Ham at 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue behind Best Buy or call 861-0011. That's 861-0011.
Millions of people have type 2 diabetes and many have trouble keeping their blood sugar under control. If you're one of them, learn about the Merck Type 2 Diabetes Study. This clinical research study is evaluating the safety and effectiveness of an investigational medication for type 2 diabetes. Those who qualify will receive the study medication, study-related medical examinations, and laboratory tests at no cost. To see if you're eligible, call Dr. Larry Popeil with Magnolia Research Group 352-351-8088. That's 352-351-8088.
All right, it's just about 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. You might have heard that we've got a new contest that's got started, I believe, this morning, actually. And I'll get the details on it later on when Dan comes in here. But we have some gifts to give away, and they are, I believe, 2-night stays at the different Red Roof Inns across the country, maybe across the state. And this is the time of each hour. It'll be 10 minutes before the top of the hour, when either Robin or I, or both of us more than likely, will be telling you to call in. But don't do it yet, because we don't have the details yet. Mm-hmm. But we will be giving away stays at the Red Roof Inns, and I believe it's 2 nights, and I believe it's for 2 people, but I don't know for sure. So we're going to wait for Dan to come in to tell us exactly what we're giving away. And then it's all month long. It's all month long. So this is the show to listen to. This is the time each hour. It's only be 10 minutes before the hour that we have to do this, because it's got something to do with the 50 minutes past the hour. The correct caller will win a 2-night stay at Red Roof Inn anywhere in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Why 50 past the hour? Red Roof Inn now has 50-plus locations with great upgrades and amenities to make your stay great. So we know it's two days. We just don't know if it's for 2 people, right?
Right, exactly. Don't know
or that.
Family,
so we'll find out.
We'll
find out that stuff. All right. So one of the places you might want to stay is Orlando. I know that's kind of close, but you might want to, right?
Yeah, you're in a different world down there. It doesn't matter.
You are. Universal Orlando is seeking to trademark the use of the phrase virtual line. They have some kind of an app that they want to use, so that when you go to a ride or an attraction that has a long wait, that your long wait is not long, because you're basically doing other things and you are virtually in line. And then I guess your app lets you know that it's time to show up, and you show up and you go into the ride, which I love this idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was the same thing as FastPass over at Disney, but I've never actually used FastPass, because I haven't really been to any of the attractions in a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's the one thing that keeps me away from the attractions is those long lines.
Yeah.
Because you pay so much to go into them, and you find yourself just standing in a line for literally 8 hours.
Yeah.
In the course of a day, I figured it out one time that if you're in Disney World and you're standing for 1 hour at this ride and 1 hour at that ride, before long you have stood in line for 8 hours.
Yeah, we stood in line at one ride for like 2 hours.
Yes. I remember.
2 hours.
I think it was Back to the Future. It was Universal, right?
Yep.
Anyway, that ought to be good. The ride I'm hoping to go on is Race Through New York, starring Jimmy Fallon. I just think that sounds like a fun ride.
It does. Sounds like a real fun ride.
So anyway, the question of trademarking the words virtual line, we'll see if the trademark office, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, accepts that. Mm-hmm. But I want to tell you something kind of interesting about the Copyright Office. In this day and age, first of all, you own the copyright to anything you write the moment you wrote it. Did you know that? You do not have to submit a form to the Copyright Office in order for it to be copyrighted. Mm-hmm. Okay? However, that form that you submit to the Copyright Office is probably the most respected form of proof of copyright.
Yeah.
If you do happen to end up in a court of law. Mm-hmm. So an attorney and a judge and all that, if they say to you, do you have proof that you wrote this before the person who's challenging you or whatever, and you pull out a letter that you sent to yourself with a postmark date, they won't look at that as favorably if the person challenging you has an earlier date on a copyright form. Mm-hmm. Okay, just so you know, that's kind of interesting to know.
It is.
And one of the things is it's not cheap to copyright. For example, we copyright songs all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's not cheap to copyright songs. So the shortcut way of doing it is to copyright a collection of songs.
Right.
And then if in the event that we were ever brought to court, we would say, look, we didn't file a copyright for this song, but we did file a copyright for these 20 songs. Mm-hmm. And it's like a booklet or something.
Yeah, it's part of the collection.
So here's a couple of things. People ask, can I copyright my website?
Ooh.
And yes, the original authorship appearing on a website may be protected by copyright. This includes whatever you've written on it, whatever artwork you've published on it, photographs, anything that might be authored and protected by copyright can be protected on a website.
Yeah, because people are blogging and they're blogging, it's their own writings and things. So, I mean, you don't think about sending those writings to the Copyright Office. So this is a good thing.
And when we first started submitting copyright applications, it was before the internet, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So now they have something called Circular 66, which is titled the Copyright Registration Form for Online Works. Something you didn't know. Now, can you copyright your domain name? No, you cannot copyright your domain name. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN for short, is an organization that holds on to the domain name management. If you've got a domain name, for example, was it John? Malkovich? Was that the ad last night on the Super Bowl?
John Malkovich.
Okay,
yeah.
and they're basically saying you got to get your name before somebody else has your .com.
Right. Exactly.
So there you go.
He's old like us.
If you have a food recipe, if you created a recipe, can you copyright that? And no, you cannot copyright a recipe, but you can copyright a cookbook.
You can't copyright a recipe. Isn't that something?
One recipe cannot be copyrighted.
Wow.
No, a mere listing of ingredients is not protected under copyright law. However, where a recipe or formula is accompanied by substantial literary expression in the form of an explanation or directions, such as in a cookbook, then you have a basis for copyright protection.
And that's why Julia Childs wrote her cookbook, so she could copyright all those recipes. Good for her.
If you have a band, you cannot copyright the name of your band.
Really?
However, you could like what Universal is doing. You can register it with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, like WOCA. Well, WOCA is different because it's call letters, and that's with the FCC. So there's a little different thing there.
Yeah.
But your title, your slogan, your logo, like "We Are the Source," that can be protected again through the Patent and Trademark Office.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, that's not considered a copyright. That's considered a
patent,
trademark.
Oh, trademark.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you just have an idea, an intellectual property, copyright does not protect that. However, you could write it in a book, including drawings and everything else, and then once again, copyright the book. Because again, anything you create, you have a right to recreate it or reproduce it. But if somebody ever were to steal it, you have to have proof that you had it first. Otherwise, they're going to win.
Yeah, isn't that sad? That's horrible. Absolutely. The bad guys win sometimes.
Does it have to be published to be protected? The answer is no. You just have to copyright, and we've known that forever.
Yeah.
Can I register a diary found in my grandmother's attic?
Oh.
You can register copyright in the diary within a certain duration only if you own the rights to the work. For example, if your grandmother left you her diary in a will. But copyright is the right of the author or the author's heirs or assignees, and not of the one only who possesses it. So if you find it, it's not necessarily yours.
Yeah, because you didn't create it.
You didn't create it, right?
Yeah. You got to give the creator their due.
Do you want to hear a weird one?
Yes.
Copyright law does not protect sightings of Elvis.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that who would do that?
Now,
I would never thought of that.
Isn't it interesting that they have to put this in here? I
Yeah.
saw Elvis. Can I copyright it? But this is what it says. I am not making this up. Copyright law will protect your photo of your sighting of Elvis. File your claim to copyright online by means of the Electronic Copyright Office, or ECO. Pay the fee online. It doesn't say how much it is. And voila, you own the copyright. It's a form SL35 if you want to copyright Elvis's.
And isn't that something? Because usually that's what the 35 millimeter cameras were, SL35s, and that's kind of coincidental. And,
that is interesting.
And I thought once, the photographer owned everything.
All right, one more I want to tell you.
Wow.
Because
Elvis
I hear this ad all the time. Can a star named after me, can I get a star named after me and claim copyright to it? The answer is no. This is what the Copyright Office says. There is a lot of misunderstanding about this. names are not protected by copyright. Publishers of works, such as a star registry, may register a claim to copyright in the text of the volume or the book containing the names the registry has assigned to stars. For example, you name a star after your sister or your brother, your mother, and perhaps the compilation of data. But such a registration would not extend protection to any of the individual star names appearing therein.
Oh.
In other words, you could name a star after your mother. They could put it in a book, and somebody else could name that same star after their mother, and nobody can challenge you for it.
Oh, gee.
But if you do want to copyright it, it's circular number 34 at the Copyright Office.
Okay.
Copyright.gov is where I got all that information from. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The Senate due to vote tomorrow on one of President Trump's controversial